G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and legends of the highest regard, and welcome back to our Australia from a Moderate Perspective playthrough, where we are known as the New Moderates, but actually the game has made us the Green Collective due to, I don't know, whether my mouse slipped or something during the first, but anyway, we are doing this from a moderate centrist point of view, but our name is the Green Collective, so go figure. Anyway. In the previous episode, we entered into a coalition government at the election with the extreme right-wing party, I say extreme right-wing, it's just the Conservative Party. There's nothing really extreme about them. So, environmental conservation aid. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so tax evasion is potentially going to be a problem. Yeah. So, hang on, I need to bring up my quarterly report. So, things that we want to start working on. I mean, in the previous, at the start of start of our first term, crime was basically there. Like, it was almost full. So we've significantly dropped the crime. Now we need to start playing with more things that are going to that are going to benefit the country. So it's probably worth having an alcohol awareness campaign. That's going to help with the education side of things. It is probably worth robotics research grants. Expensive, and it will reduce the amount of low or semi-skilled jobs in the economy, which will potentially lead to higher unemployment. But we already have the education things implemented to help avoid that, I guess. Maybe not yet. So enterprise investment schemes. So this will give tax breaks to the wealthy who want to invest in the small businesses that I spent so much of our first term of government playing with. So we're going to put that in at the maximum. And then where is corporation tax? Because I get the feeling that maybe we can reduce that a little bit to just help the potential tax evasion issue that was sort of starting to rear its head. So, pollution is under control, which is a good thing. Corporate exodus has dropped straight under the start trigger, but it hasn't dropped to the stop trigger yet, but that was done by the fact that we dropped corporation tax. So right now there might be a corporate exodus as such, but there won't be at the next turn. Cancel the right to... No. Factory farming law. Yeah, we need to set tougher standards. As much as we don't want to, we have to. We just do. So, stem cell research. Let's throw in some money into stem cell research. Some more money. Yep, that's already implemented to the maximum amount. State broadcaster. Now, that's going to help with foreign relations, reducing fake news, all that sort of stuff that can be quite important in managing a country. So the deficit is 43.7 billion, which is quite high. It's not exactly where I'd like it to be, I'll be honest with you, right at this point. But we should see some benefits from it. the global economy is in a severe recession. Which is not fantastic. We would get 61% of the vote in an election, though. So mining on Aboriginal land. Split ownership. It seems like the best. No, I don't want to cancel gender transition. Why the hell are we in coalition with these fuckheads? Anyway. Competition law. Pro small business? Nah. Not at this point, anyway. Alright, so how do we really get the economy booming? I think I know how. We're going to do rural development grants. Encourage people to put their money outside of the cities. It'll also help people with small businesses in regional, it'll help farmers, etc., etc. So that brings us to one political capital remaining, which, you know, we're moving quite fast now, but it is what it is. Our credit rating was downrated, which doesn't make any sense, but seeing as our debt GDP ratio is only 60.38%, but anyway, that may have been because this happened. It is what it is. So, an International Literary Award. Oh, there we go. See? We're doing good. We're doing good. But now is probably the time, unfortunately, to play with a tax somewhere, unfortunately. Because we do need to somehow take in some money, because the financial situation is getting a little bit out of control. I mean, $976.5 billion of debt. And I know it's because we're funding the people of this country, but, you know. I don't want to necessarily implement a car tax because we just told people to move regionally, which means they're going to have to use their cars. Faith school subsidies. Hell to the no. So that's the kind of stuff that we might have to start playing with now to help with our technology side of things, is we may have to start reducing the religious side of things. So, stricter driving tests, yes. We will have stricter driving tests. So currently it's 56, the target is 85. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to get ourselves up there. Our GDP needs to climb fast though to match up with our debt. So we need to do more economy things, I guess. So quantitative easing. We want to implement it at a rate where inflation is low. Like that. Yeah. And then we can increase our GDP as well through tourism. So we now have over $1 trillion in debt, which is not a fantastic scenario to be in. But everything here is good. Everything is green. And our GDP is exploding. Which is what I've been trying to do. So we're going to ban animal testing, which is going to reduce our GDP slightly. But then we're going to go back to economy and we're going to do helicopter money. Now, again, I want to bring it down to an area where inflation is very mildly affected, but where it benefits everything else. And then, I don't want to do city farms. I don't want to do charity tax relief. I want to do a healthy eating campaign because we've been having an issue with obesity. And although our state health service is funded to the maximum, we want to help people to make better and more informed choices. And the best way to do that is to inform them directly outside of their trips to doctors and all that sort of stuff. So, we head to the next turn. So a foreign neighbour has done a nuclear missile test. New Zealand, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Bro, like, stick to the fish and chips. New car subsidies. I mean, I'm not adverse to the idea. Helps the GDP. Helps people's health. Why not? I could have thought of worse things to implement, I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, unfortunately that used all our political capital for that turn. There we go. Our credit rating has been re-upgraded. There we go. Because look at our GDP. 2.12 trillion. That's more like it. That is more like it. No, we're not going to cancel stem cell research. So pollution, whoa, has gone through the roof again because of our crazy good GDP. Okay. It's not fantastic. So, we need to, in this turn, do something relation to pollution. So we're going to do a CO2 campaign. And compulsory water meters. Oh, bugger it. Let's do it. To go with the fact that we now own and run the state water company and it is at the absolute maximum, we may as well help the environment by having water meters running as well. So now we're in a good place. Trade Council, that's the work safety law, that's the absolute maximum. Smart meter program, pollution controls. Yeah, nothing. Doesn't really do what I thought it might do, so I won't. All drilling subsidies, yeah, I don't want to. As I said, I don't really want to go reducing things. Yeah, we want to make sure that there's no antibiotics being used in food, if possible. So, people smuggling. Oh, bugger it. We'll allow them to stay. I wouldn't you know, like... Yeah. So, real estate bubble. Because of our GDP. Yeah. Okay. So, we're still only 62% popular. We were 65% popular. In fact, we were 67% popular at one point. My God, look at the lifespan. That's insane. Cool. Fair enough. Labour laws, yep, we'll keep them balanced. That's a good thing. Maternity leave. I'm okay with where that is at this point. So we want to keep increasing the GDP where we can. So I'm now going to implement those robotics research grants. I know it's going to increase industrial automation, but I've got a fix for that in the future. So it's not too much of a concern. Yeah, we definitely need to implement that. Okay, so we're looking okay. I don't know how my manifesto is looking. So my GDP is there. My human development is not quite there. My gender equality needs some work, and my secularity of education needs some work. Okay. Okay, so we have a serious pollution issue again. Right? Okay. That doesn't make any sense. The private space industry is growing noticeably in our country. Reduce gay marriage? Nope. So Caleb White doesn't like me, but that's alright because I've decided I don't like him either. So, public services. Climate Change Adaption Fund. Long-term prediction system. That might help our environmental issues. I know that just completely wiped off all of our political capital for that turn. But I don't know if you've also noticed up here in the top, the income is going up. Even though the expenditure is going up, the income is going up as well, which means our deficit is not really any worse than what it was. So yes, we're still adding to the debt, and yes, we still have a deficit, but it's balancing itself. Huh? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Yep, let's get some limited trials going. So we're going to potentially have environmental protests, which is why I'm trying to do things that are related to the environment, guys. But anyway, we will continue. So what can I do that helps with... Ah, here we go. Now we can do some things. So we want to do a... cycling campaign, yes. Not that, you know, but We want to do a carpooling campaign. That's going to help the environment. We want to do a telecommuting initiative. That's going to help the GDP because it's upping our productivity through the roof. We don't really need to implement community policing. So one thing we should implement is a food standards agency because this country already has a food standards agency. Now it's going to up the food price, but we've already got health food subsidies to help counteract that. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with... So we've got 2 turns left before the next election. Right. So the credit rating downgraded again, which doesn't make any sense, seeing as our GDP and debt... I think it's because 60% is the balancing point. So even though our GDP is so strong, because we have a lot of debt as well, and our deficit is quite high, it's not playing in our favour at this point. And this is one of the issues with, having a country of only 25.5 million people, unfortunately, creates problems like this. Not ideal, but I'm sure we will be... I'm not going to be able to actually get my manifest of anything but GDP, unfortunately. So that's not going to go very well for me, but anyway. So City Farms is going to reduce the food price. So I feel like we should implement that. It's probably going to have environmental impacts in the future, but we will implement things to help with that. So we have one political capital left, so there's not really any point in doing anything at this point. I don't think we can even really change much from where we are right now. Actually, we can push up the tobacco awareness campaign. Alright. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this time round with the election. Now, as we know from the previous election, we are the Green Collective, even though we should be the New Moderates, and for some reason the game screwed us in that way, and there is no way to change the name. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this from such a moderate viewpoint, it's because I'm meant to be the New Moderates. But I've clearly accidentally clicked something. There we go. There we go. So we've gone from being in a coalition to basically doubling our primary vote from our coalition. So we were in coalition with the Patriotic Alliance, and now we've basically doubled their primary vote the second time around, which means that the people of this country are very happy with us, the New Moderates Green Collective. So, I mean, look at crime's down 73%. The food price is down 64%. Ooh, rare earth metal prices are starting to go up a lot, which we need to be careful of. We need to be very careful of that. But, there we go. The achievement. Successful liar for being voted in twice. So, The only people who are getting fired are our welfare and economy minister. Everybody else does a fantastic job. So, Timmy Turner, Timmy Turner, da 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 da. You can be our new welfare and our new economy minister. So Mackenzie Kim's got 1.5, Oscar Russell's got 1.6, and George Miller has got 1.7. But 1.5. Oh, actually, no. I feel like George Miller might be the best option here. Beautiful. Yeah. Commitments to the general populace about your manifesto. Break all those promises and yet still win an election. I mean, they're not wrong. They are not wrong. So we have environmental protests, unfortunately, mainly because our GDP is so freaking insane. Internet crime may be having... So internet censorship. Yeah, I don't want to censor the internet. We'll up the cyberbullying awareness. So we are now leading the world in a number of major areas of science and technology, which is going to be part of the reason why our GDP is so through the roof. So yes, we do have somebody sticking up for the environment. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, legends of the highest regard, that does bring us to the end of our second episode here of the playthrough of the Australian government as such. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and if you do have any suggestions on how to make this series better, please drop a comment below. Much appreciated. I do read everything that everyone says. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well, and don't do anyone I wouldn't do, and I will catch you in the next video.